They dominated the NBA, won championships, and broke records. Yet behind the glory was a bitter rivalry so intense it nearly tore the team apart. This is the story of the NBA's greatest duo that hated each other. The Los Angeles Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant were legends on the court, but off the court, they were far from friends. Their partnership was one of the most fascinating, turbulent, and explosive relationships in sports history. Shaq was a dominant force, a giant with unmatched power and presence. Kobe was a relentless competitor, young and hungry to prove himself as the best. Together, they were unstoppable, but their egos clashed violently, creating a storm that rocked the franchise. Before Shaq and Kobe, the Lakers were a team stuck in the shadows of their former glory. Magic Johnson's retirement in 1991 left a vacuum that the team struggled to fill. Playoff appearances were rare, and without a true superstar, the Lakers lacked the firepower to compete for titles. Then, in 1996, everything changed. A bold move by general manager Jerry West brought in two players who would define an era. First, the 17-year-old Kobe Bryant, who stunned the basketball world by skipping college to enter the NBA draft. Then, the signing of Shaquille O'Neal, who was looking for a new home after being undervalued and disrespected by his former team. On paper, the combination seemed perfect. Shaq's dominance in the paint paired with Kobe's scoring and skill on the perimeter. But from day one, the tension was clear. Kobe, eager to prove he was more than just a rookie, was aggressive and demanding with the ball, unwilling to defer to Shaq. Shaq, used to being the unquestioned star, grew frustrated with Kobe's selfishness and showmanship. The locker room buzzed with conflict as these two superstars struggled to coexist. Their rookie season set the tone. Kobe's confidence sometimes crossed into arrogance, and his refusal to blend with the team rubbed many the Yandoidites wrong way. Shaq, battling injuries and trying to assert himself, clashed with Kobe and even their coach. Yet despite the discord, the Lakers found success, winning 56 games and making a deep playoff run. But the cracks were visible especially when Kobe missed crucial shots and Shaq's frustrations boiled over. The media couldn't get enough, fueling the fire with every spat, every snide comment, and every public jab. The offseason brought no relief. Kobe trained harder, bulking up and refining his skills, determined to rise above the tension. The Lakers added veteran pieces like Rick Fox, and expectations soared. The following season, the team started strong, but injuries and internal drama threatened their progress. The rivalry between Shaq and Kobe grew even more personal. Shaq resented Kobe's rising star status and the endorsements that came with it. Kobe resented Shaq's refusal to treat him as an equal or mentor. When they finally clashed in a pickup game during the NBA lockout, the tension exploded into a physical fight, exposing just how deep the divide had become. The coaching staff tried to keep the peace, but their efforts fell short. Coach Del Harris was fired mid-season, replaced by Kurt Rambis, but the turmoil only worsened. The Lakers brought in Dennis Rodman to shake things up, but instead, his antics added fuel to the fire. Late arrivals, wild behavior, and a lack of discipline mirrored the chaos between Shaq and Kobe. The team still managed to win games, but the atmosphere was toxic, and the future looked uncertain. Even with all the strife, Shaq and Kobe's combined, talent was undeniable. They pushed each other to greatness, winning 3 NBA championships and dominating the league. But the question always lingered, could they have been even greater without the personal battles that haunted their partnership? Their story is a roller coaster of triumph and turmoil, a reminder that sometimes the greatest teams are built not just on skill, but on the delicate balance of egos and respect. The 1998 season was a turning point, not just for the Lakers, but for the volatile relationship between Shaq and Kobe. The NBA was entering a lockout, shrinking the season, and putting players into an extended offseason that only intensified the tensions brewing beneath the surface. With no official games to play, the players turned to pickup games to stay sharp. But these informal matches quickly became battlegrounds for Shaq and Kobe's simmering rivalry. Their first major confrontation happened during one of these pickup games. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken resentment. Shaq, already frustrated by Kobe's growing stardom and what he saw as selfish behavior, was not willing to back down. Kobe, fiercely independent and determined to prove he was no one's sidekick, fired back with biting trash talk. The verbal war escalated quickly, and before anyone could intervene, fists were thrown. Friends and fellow players had to break up the fight, and the incident only confirmed what everyone suspected. This was more than just a competitive rivalry. It was a full-blown personal war. When the lockout ended and the season resumed, the Lakers' dysfunction was on full display. Shaq and Kobe openly disrespected each other in practice and in games. Neither was willing to compromise, and both resented the coach's attempts to control the chaos. Coach Del Harris, respected for his tactical knowledge, couldn't connect with the egos on his roster. Kobe was unhappy with limited minutes and lack of trust, while Shaq believed Harris was coddling the young star at his expense. After a disappointing start, Harris was fired, a move that showed just how badly the Lakers needed to fix the internal breakdown. Kurt Rambis stepped in as head coach, but his promotion did little to solve the deeper problems. The players still operated in silos, and the tension between Shaq and Kobe made it impossible to build team chemistry. To add to the chaos, the Lakers signed Dennis Rodman, hoping his veteran presence would provide energy and leadership. Instead, Rodman brought his own brand of disruption. Known for his wild behavior, Rodman arrived late to practices, showed up to press conferences smelling of cigarettes and alcohol, and sometimes even appeared in women's clothing. His antics only added to the media circus surrounding the Lakers, and did nothing to calm the rift between Shaq and Kobe. Despite all this turmoil, the Lakers managed to win games. Rodman dominated the boards, averaging double-digit rebounds, and the team secured a solid record. But off the court, the drama continued to build. Eddie Jones, once a key player, was traded for Glenn Rice, a move widely criticized as it brought in a player who couldn't defend or create plays without the ball. The Lakers' supporting cast was shaky at best, placing even more pressure on the fragile Shaq-Kobe duo. The playoffs exposed the cracks more than ever. The Lakers swept past the Rockets, a team equally marred by internal issues, but ran into trouble against the Utah Jazz in the conference finals. The Jazz's pick-and-roll game, led by Stockton and Malone, exploited Shaq's defensive weaknesses. Malone tormented the Lakers, putting up massive scoring numbers while the Lakers struggled to adjust. Kobe and Van Exel, usually reliable scorers, shot poorly and couldn't find their rhythm. The Jazz took a commanding 3-0 series lead, and in the locker room, frustration boiled over. Nick Van Exel's infamous 1-2-3 Cancun comment before Game 4 revealed just how low morale had sunk a moment that angered teammates and fans alike. The Lakers were swept, ending their championship hopes and sparking a frenzy of blame. Shaq demanded Van Exel be traded, and Jerry West quickly moved to shake up the roster, sending Van Exel away for fresh talent. Yet, the deeper issue remained: the toxic relationship between the two superstars. Off the court, the divide grew. Shaq resented Kobe's rising popularity, his lucrative endorsement deals, and the spotlight shifting from the established veteran to the young upstart. Kobe, meanwhile, had no interest in playing second fiddle and was determined to carve his own legacy, refusing to defer to Shaq or anyone else. Their rivalry was no longer just about basketball. It was personal, fueled by jealousy, pride, and clashing ambitions. As the next season approached, the Lakers were at a crossroads. The talent was undeniable, but the chemistry was broken. If Shaq and Kobe couldn't find a way to coexist, the team's championship dreams would crumble under the weight of their hatred. The stage was set for one of the most intense and dramatic chapters in NBA history. The 1999 season started under a cloud of uncertainty and unresolved tension. Shaq and Kobe, still locked in their bitter rivalry, showed flashes of brilliance but rarely found harmony on the court. Each wanted to dominate the spotlight and control the flow of the game, but neither was willing to cede ground. Their personal battle played out in front of teammates, coaches, and a media frenzy that only escalated every slight, every snub, and every public criticism. Kobe's rise was meteoric. At just 20 years old, he was already a fan favorite, voted a starter for the All-Star game despite not being a regular starter on his own team. His confidence bordered on arrogance, and he wasn't afraid to challenge anyone, including Shaq. But the veteran superstar was still the backbone of the Lakers, posting dominant numbers and commanding respect wherever he went. Shaq expected Kobe to follow his lead, to play the role of the loyal second-in-command. Kobe had no interest in playing second fiddle, seeing himself as an equal, if not the future face of the franchise. The Lakers' management and coaching staff were caught in the middle of this feud. Jerry West, who had orchestrated the team's rebuilding, was growing increasingly frustrated with the lack of unity. Coach Kurt Rambis struggled to impose discipline and bring the team together, but the toxic atmosphere made it nearly impossible. Practices were tense, and teammates often felt like bystanders in the war between their two stars. Behind the scenes, the tension escalated beyond basketball. Shaq and Kobe rarely spoke off the court. When they did, it was cold and formal. The warmth and camaraderie expected of teammates simply didn't exist. Kobe rejected numerous chances to bond, ignoring Shaq's attempts at friendship. Shaq, unused to being rejected, took it personally, fueling his resentment. This tension exploded publicly during the 1999 All-Star Weekend, a time when teammates usually celebrate together. Kobe's star was rising, and Shaq felt overshadowed. Their interactions were icy, and their rivalry was no secret to the league or its fans. Yet, the two put aside their differences on the court when it mattered most, showing glimpses of the brilliance that could have made them unstoppable. Despite the internal chaos, the Lakers finished the season strong, winning a solid number of games and securing a playoff spot. But it was clear that without a resolution between Shaq and Kobe, the team's ceiling was limited. Their style clashed, Shaq's brute force versus Kobe's finesse, and the question lingered: could they ever truly trust and support each other? The playoffs brought more drama. The Lakers advanced, but struggled to break through the toughest opponents. Every game was a test, not just of skill, but of patience and cooperation. The media amplified every moment of tension, dissecting their every move and every look. Fans were captivated by the spectacle, watching two of the greatest players in history locked in a battle of wills. The pressure mounted as the season progressed. Behind closed doors, Lakers executives debated whether to try to trade one of their stars. But neither Shaq nor Kobe was willing to leave, and both believed they could carry the team to a championship on their own terms. This stubbornness only deepened the divide, and the Lakers faced the real possibility of a breakup. Yet, in the moments when it mattered most, Shaq and Kobe found a way to come together. Their talent was undeniable, and when they aligned, they were nearly unstoppable. Each championship they won was a testament to their skill, but also a reminder of the fragile piece that barely held them together. Their story was one of contrasts: friendship versus rivalry, collaboration versus competition, respect versus resentment. It was a roller coaster of emotions and achievements, marked by moments of brilliance shadowed by personal conflict. The NBA's greatest duo that hated each other was a paradox, a relationship that burned bright but threatened to consume everything in its path. The tension reached its breaking point during the early 2000s, a period that would define the legacy of the Lakers' greatest and most tumultuous duo. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant had led the team to 3 consecutive NBA championships, a rare feat that showcased their incredible talent and dominance. Yet behind every trophy was a war brewing in the locker room, a personal feud that simmered beneath the surface and threatened to tear the team apart. Shaq's frustration grew as Kobe's star continued to rise. The once dominant big man was now being challenged for the spotlight by the younger guard, whose relentless drive and work ethic made him a fan favorite and a media darling. Shaq wanted recognition as the team's leader, the alpha, but Kobe refused to play second fiddle. He was determined to be the face of the franchise, the best player in the world, and nothing was going to stop him. The media fed the fire, turning every disagreement, every offhand comment, and every visible eye roll into headline news. Interviews became battlegrounds where Shaq and Kobe traded thinly veiled insults. Shaq accused Kobe of being selfish and immature, while Kobe fired back, questioning Shaq's commitment and fitness. The rift wasn't just about basketball anymore. It was about pride, respect, and control. Even the coaching staff was caught in the crossfire. Phil Jackson's arrival as head coach brought a new dynamic, but managing two superstars with clashing personalities was no easy task. Jackson, known for his calm and zen-like approach, had to find ways to keep Shaq and Kobe focused and motivated while navigating their personal animosity. His triangle offense suited both players, but it required cooperation and trust. Two things in short supply. Behind the scenes, the Lakers' front office was forced to play diplomat. Jerry West and the ownership knew that the team's success depended on these two stars coexisting, but the tension was a powder keg. Locker room disputes, conflicting egos, and public spats threatened the team's chemistry every day. Despite the turmoil, Shaq and Kobe won 3 straight NBA titles from 2000 to 2002, a testament to their sheer talent and determination. However, the cracks deepened. The 2003 season revealed just how fragile their partnership was. Shaq was dealing with injuries and declining physical condition, while Kobe's skills and influence continued to grow. The two superstars' differences became impossible to ignore. Shaq demanded a trade, tired of the constant tension and feeling undermined. Kobe refused to back down, ready to lead the Lakers into a new era on his own terms. The Lakers eventually parted ways with Shaq in a blockbuster trade to the Miami Heat, marking the end of one of the most compelling and conflicted partnerships in sports history. The trade shocked the basketball world, but it was a relief to many who had witnessed the toxic relationship that overshadowed the team's greatness. Looking back, the Shaq-Kobe duo was a paradox story of two of the NBA's greatest players, bound by their shared desire for greatness, but divided by their personalities and ambitions. Their rivalry pushed them both to unprecedented heights, but it also created a lasting legacy of conflict and drama. Their story remains one of the most thrilling chapters in NBA history. It's a reminder that even the most successful partnerships can be fragile, and that greatness often comes at a cost. Shaq and Kobe's journey wasn't just about championships. It was about the human struggle behind the glory, the clash of titans who couldn't stand each other, but still changed the game forever. After Shaq's departure, Kobe Bryant was left to carry the Lakers' legacy on his own. The young star embraced the challenge, determined to prove that he was more than just the sidekick in a duo. With relentless work ethic and unmatched confidence, Kobe transformed himself into one of the NBA's greatest players, carving out a solo path filled with MVP awards, scoring titles, and eventually more championships. But the shadow of their turbulent partnership lingered. Fans and analysts often wondered what could have been if Shaq and Kobe had truly learned to trust and respect each other. Could their combined talent have made them the greatest dynasty in NBA history? Or was their rivalry a necessary fuel that pushed them to greatness, even if it came with pain? Their feud also left a lasting impact on the Lakers organization and the league as a whole. It exposed the challenges of managing two superstar egos and highlighted the delicate balance between personal ambition and team success. The Shaq-Kobe story became a blueprint for understanding superstar dynamics, serving as a cautionary tale and a source of endless fascination. Years later, after Shaq and Kobe both retired, their relationship evolved. Time and perspective softened old wounds. They shared moments of respect and admiration in public, acknowledging what they had accomplished together despite the difficulties. The rivalry that once divided them became a powerful chapter in their shared legacy, a reminder that even the greatest partnerships are complicated, messy, and human. The NBA's greatest duo that hated each other wasn't just a story about basketball. It was a story about pride, passion, and the struggle for greatness. It was about two men who couldn't see eye to eye, but were bound by a common goal to be the best. Their journey captivated millions, proving that sometimes the fiercest battles happen not on the court, but in the hearts of those destined for greatness. The aftermath of the Shaq-Kobe saga rippled far beyond their playing days. Kobe went on to build his legacy as the Lakers' unquestioned leader, winning 2 more NBA championships and cementing his place among the all-time greats. Shaq, meanwhile, thrived in Miami, capturing another title and eventually earning a spot in the Hall of Fame. Both men retired as legends, each with a unique story shaped by their complicated partnership. But their story wasn't just about individual glory. It changed the NBA forever. The league saw firsthand the challenges and rewards of superstar duos, setting the stage for future partnerships like LeBron and Wade or Durant and Westbrook. Shaq and Kobe showed the world how towering talent and clashing personalities could produce both magic and mayhem. Their rivalry also sparked debates about leadership, teamwork, and ego. Was it better to have one clear leader or 2 stars sharing the spotlight? Could a team thrive amid personal conflict?